Tell me what you gonna do to feed your family. I just skipped a couple meals, make sure my nephew eat. And my brother ain't there, too caught up in the streets. So I play my role right until death to me. I swear before I die, make you remember me. Gotta make a way for myself and for my family. If my day was not thorough, they get cut from me. I can't have that negativity surround by me. You wasn't there when I got into it. So why you got your hand out front of me like you about to eat?
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to As the Culture Turns. It's your boy Jermir with the journalism. No, I'm not a journalist, but I got that journalism. All right, I got two very special ladies with me tonight for this episode. All right, so I'm gonna start with you first, Chanel. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Jermir. It's good to be back. I see a new intro. I'm like, oh wait, where you get these from? I love it though. I love
I was snooping on them pages.
I love it.
Thank you. There we go. Trying to add a little extra to what we're doing. And how about you, Connie? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I was also caught off guard by the intro, but you did that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Listen, I want to thank you ladies for joining me for this conversation tonight. It's been a lot going on in regard to just where we are at locally, and we could definitely get into it. But before we do that, I like to do a little mental health check-in or just a check-in in general. Chanel, what's been going on lately? What's been up with you? How has life been treating you?
Life has been treating me pretty good. I really don't have any complaints. I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary last weekend. So, we had a great time. We went to New York. Thank you. We went to New York and just, got to enjoy the city. It wasn't too cold. So it was like a perfect weekend to just go out and enjoy New York City. So I really can't complain. But I did have to go back to work. So, it was like, boo, but I'm here.
There we go. Listen, I like that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. But congratulations on your 1-year anniversary. We got our married panel member over here. So wishing you many, many, many more years for sure in regard to that. And Connie, what's up with you? What you been up to?
Been up to everything. Life is just busy. It's good, but it's busy. Thankful to be here and getting through it. I feel like during the winter months is when we supposed to be hibernating, but everybody keep having stuff. So I'm out and about and ready for some warm weather.
There we go. Listen, I can't wait for it either. And I think we won't get no warm weather until like officially maybe May, but I'm with you on that, And I did see you post something and you mentioned it briefly our last episode in regard to you getting back to stepping. I seen you put like a flyer out there. Did it have like a date on there? So could you just give us a little bit about that for those who may want to support you?
Yes, the Step Correct Step competition, which is being hosted by the Chester Alumni Kappas, a Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, is taking place on March 13th. I believe it's at the Hilton in Center City, Philadelphia. So yeah, pull up on me March 13th, 9:00 at the Hilton.
All right, there we go. There we go. I like that. And while I did your life updates, what'd you say, Chanel?
I said that's what's up, Connie.
Definitely what's up. Let us know so we can support.
Yes.
You're welcome. No problem. So in regard to life updates, I want to give y'all one with me. So literally, tomorrow was supposed to be the day that I was having my first ever event that I was doing, which was called the accountability dinner. Well, I like to say that God had other plans in regard to this because there has been something that recently got in the way of it that had made me postpone it, So I'm going to play this clip right here and then it'll give context and then we can get further into that conversation and why I'm not having that event no longer. So, or why I'm not having it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Across the street blew up too. and there was fire coming out of the joint down the street.
All right, so for those who don't know exactly what they were looking at, this morning there was an underground transformer explosion on the corner of the block. So like on 5th Street, 5th and Avenue. That explosion caused a fire and sent a manhole cover straight through the front window of the Everybody Eats Cafe where I work at, where we were scheduled to host the accountability dinner. So with the so what wound up happening, glass was everywhere, the power was out, carbon monoxide concerns in the building, and by the grace of God, nobody was inside at the time, so everybody is safe and alive. Because of that, as I stated, the accountability dinner is postponed, not canceled. So I want to make this a part of the conversation because we talk a lot about community, we talk a lot about supporting Black-owned businesses, and we talk about showing up. So the first thing I want to ask you, ladies, what were your thoughts in regard to the video? Because I did text it in our group chat earlier this morning. So what were your thoughts when you saw this? I'm gonna start with you first, Chanel.
First of all, the fire, it was really blazing. So I'm really glad that nobody was in the building or around the vicinity because you just never want to be a victim to, smoke inhalation, fire burns or anything like that. And then I did see a post where I think the owner of the business say they normally prep they start prepping at 3 a.m. And the fact that nobody was there at the time, or was anybody there at the time? Nobody was there?
Yeah, nobody was there at the time.
Yeah, so the fact that nobody was there at the time when they normally start prepping at 3 a.m., that just says that was God's protection to not have them there, because if they're normally there at 3 a.m., they very well could have been in there. And from what I've heard or read somewhere about carbon monoxide was in the buildings, that is a very deadly, fumes. And, we could be having a very different episode if people were in the building prepping food.
I saw a couple posts and also the video earlier this morning, right around the time that you had sent us the text. So I share those same sentiments. Glad nobody was hurt, and that was literally the grace of God that nobody was in there. So around the time that you had sent us the video, I also had saw a couple posts and a couple videos, circulating on the internet regarding what happened. I seen something about Chester Charter, like closing school, and them saying like, y'all can come get y'all kids. So I share the same sentiments as Chanel, and thank God that nobody got hurt, that nobody was in the buildings during that time. And I was also wondering, like, Stephanie, the owner of Everybody Eats, she posts often about like Pico always doing work in that area and the impact in the restaurant. So my question was, like, even if it's not something we can really get into on here, what exactly are they doing over there? Like, what are they digging up? What are they looking for? What are they hitting that's causing this stuff to happen and to keep having to go down there?
Yeah,
that's good. I can give you a little inside scoop in regard to what I know, because I know that there has been like a lot of old wiring and things that need to be fixed in the city of Chester, So every time that they come, they're trying to fix something that's like old and need to be updated. And because it was so poorly put in by whoever did it, it takes them coming time after time after time again. So I remember one time where they were like, coming in, they were trying to come in. Well, they were already blocking the roads, so it already made it harder for people to get to the cafe. People literally had to go like out of their way to get to the cafe, So already with them out there playing in dirt, because that's what I think they're doing. They came in the restaurant one time. Mind you, we about to have like 40 kids walk in. We have a busy service. The city workers, the Pico workers can see that. And they came in because I'm at the front desk. Not the front desk, at the front. And they like, we're going to have to cut your gas off. I'm like, oh, no, you're not. I ran back to the kitchen and got Malik, who is the chef. And I was like, they talking about they got to cut the gas off. And he came out the kitchen, and then Stephanie had her, and Stephanie was like, "Absolutely not! Y'all are not cutting it off. It's already one thing that y'all are already out here doing construction, and it's making it an inconvenience for people to get to me. But now you're trying to cut the gas off, which people don't know in restaurants you need the gas to cook. So in that moment when she stood up for herself, they literally did not cut the gas off, and they had to wait until we were done. And by the time they got to fix everything, it was dark outside. So how people normally say things like, well, they had to do the work at this time, they can't do it at nighttime. That night they did, because at this point, y'all not about to sit here and interrupt the business any longer, So it's been like a lot of that going on. And I know prior to me getting there, Stephanie said that she's been going through this for about a year now, So again, she has had to post very often in regard to the situation. She has had to be that person that's like, listen, I just want to win, but I can't win when I come into work and I can't even get business. She has rent to pay, she has employees to pay, and she has money to make. So when you're getting in the middle of that, someone can only take but so much, So I know that I've been very vocal. I told her, let me off the leash, send me over to city council, and we can get something done about it, because it should not be happening the way it's happening. Because when we talked to the PICO workers, they said that they communicated with the city workers. When I talked to the city workers, they said they didn't get no heads up communication. So somebody is lying and something's not working. So that's a little bit of insight of what's been going on in regard to that. They're fixing old problems, and it's getting in the way of the business.
Gotcha.
I want to ask you, ladies, in regard to hearing everything. So, what are your thoughts, or what advice would you give a business owner? Let me say that have stuff like this continuously happening. Like, what advice would you give someone to keep on going? Specifically, Stephanie and Malik. I want to hear from you, Chanel.
I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I don't know what I would say to them, because I have never experienced this before, but I do sympathize. But what I can say, and I want to go back to like, what can the community do? The community can obviously hold, like you said, holding the council accountable for interrupting, city business. We know that. I don't want to call it Overtown, because like Overtown is so like old school, but we know that like the businesses Overtown, they come and go. It's hard to maintain a business, and they're making it like easy for her to say, all right, well, I'm done here. I can take my business to Philly or to Brookhaven and pour into that community and bring that money into that community, where you have a business that's here that's trying to bring revenue into the city, and then you're making it difficult for that person to thrive and for this business to really be an asset to the community. I'm just kind of like dumbfounded that that the city has not supported this business or any business in the way that when you need money, you want these businesses to feel supported. So I just feel that the community could hold the city accountable for what's being done and how it's affecting the community, how it's affecting this business. I mean, because if it's not her business, it's somebody else's. So if you don't say anything now, it'll be somebody else's business next week.
I definitely agree with you on that for sure. What are your thoughts on that, Connie?
I would say, I'm not a business owner in that capacity. But I would say, like, keep showing up until you feel like it's time to do something different. I enjoyed Everybody Eats Cafe. I like, enjoy is like an understatement. Like, I love their food. I love the ambiance in there. The staff is really, really nice. Like, we was talking earlier, like on the side, about the young ladies. Like, everybody is always so polished and well put together and so polite. The presentation of everything is so nice. Like, I think it would be different if that business wasn't as involved in the community as they are, if the food wasn't good, if the service wasn't good. But this is a really good upstanding business, I would say, at least from my experiences there. And I would like to see them stay in the community, but I also can see like why all of these barriers would make somebody not want to be here. And it's crazy because when that was Brothers, I would go there almost every single day. And I don't remember none of this stuff ever being an issue. Like, so my thought process is kind of like what I was saying earlier about like the Pico issues and stuff. Like, I know you said they're fixing up stuff, like old stuff, but like, why now? Like, why is all of this happening now if something like this has like been a problem? Like I said, I used to go there almost every day for a breakfast sandwich. So, I want to see that business in that area in general thrive, because I like to support the businesses over town. If the food is good and if the service is good and everybody eats, is definitely that.
And I definitely want to add on to what y'all are saying, because you're right. Like when I first joined Everybody Eats, which was in November last year, so I've been with them for about 4 months. And me and Chanel always talk about, I gotta do an episode where I talk about the different jobs I had, because nigga be jump roping from job to job, But I can say that at the Everybody Eats Cafe, I truly do enjoy working there because of, number one, it's a Black-owned business, and when I used to I used to go there when I wasn't working there, so I did always enjoy the food, and I actually always thought initially, like meeting Stephanie, I was like, okay, I definitely like her business mindset and what she's trying to do, So for the Everybody Eats Cafe to bring the level of food that they bring to that community, because every Monday they do like we do a free produce giveaway, whereas I haven't seen any other do that, and it'd be fresh produce, not like some old raggedy stuff that you may see at some of these churches. It's like some real fresh produce that's being freshly dropped off, So the fact that they do that, the fact that they offer something like Pilates, which I've never seen offered in a neighborhood like Chester, and the fact that, again, even the different events that we're having, we got DJ Koryak out of retirement to do a old soul school brunch every third Sunday of the month, and it's people like that, and in the community that actually believe in us, because when them incidents was happening with Pico kind of getting in the way of the business, I feel like we had got an influx of people who wanted to rent out the event space on the other side, because a lot of people in the community do love the Everybody Eats Cafe, because when I first started working there and I left my full-time, comfortable career job to go there, I ain't gonna lie, I had worries like, oh my God, are they gonna be able to, pay me like, what I was making at my other job? But they are actually able to do that. And honestly, they actually pay me very close, if not more than what I was making at my quote unquote career job, similar, I say that and everything. So for me, it's like, okay, they pay their staff well, the food tastes good, and it's a good vibe when you go in there, so why not rally around a business like this, and to even get in on the specials, like every Tuesday you get 50-cent wings, every Wednesday $5 fish, every Thursday adult Happy Meal burger and fries for $10, and every Friday $1 shrimp. Like, I don't see other restaurants around there doing this, And the thing that I enjoy about the Everybody Eats Cafe, because when I talked to them about joining their team, they didn't try to water me down. They didn't try to tell me not to do X, Y, Z. They fully embraced who I was coming into that, because they seen how what I was doing can help them and vice versa, because me being there, it makes me more accessible to the community. So people are able to come there and kick it with Jermir with the journalism, because I don't be realizing how popular I am until I'm at a place like that where I literally answer the phone and someone repeat my slogan back to me, or someone literally call up there and I'm like, which one to order? And they're like, no, I just called to talk to you. Like, you can't do that. Like, what do you want? So again, it makes me more accessible to the community, and they've helped me get into rooms that I wasn't necessarily invited in because of the perception that some people have about me, So I say all of that to say that I enjoy working at the Everybody Eats Cafe, And the mission that I see that Stephanie and Malik is on, I believe in it 100%, you know, and I'm willing to ride with them on. Chanel, have you ever been to the Everybody's Cafe?
Nope, I haven't been.
You got to come one day. You
I
got to
was
come one day.
thinking
You will
about it.
really enjoy it.
No, so I was literally I was coming home tomorrow and I was gonna stop by and just wish you well for your event. I didn't get to buy a ticket because literally I wasn't sure if I was coming, and then when I went to go do it, I'm like, dang, it's sold out. Well, anyway, I'm still going to show up and just give Jermir a hug, well wishes, and so that was going to be my first time going. But now I got to reschedule that.
There we go. Listen, I'll keep you updated with the postponed date for that event, because I would definitely love to have you there for sure,
Yeah.
And that makes me want to get just a little deeper into the accountability dinner because we did talk about it earlier briefly. So I thank you ladies in regard to being people that I could reach out to in the morning in regard to me finding out about the event that I was so close to doing and, almost at the finish line, and the fact that I had to postpone everything, because when I was texting with Stephanie earlier, she was saying that it was a chance that the electric could come on and the show could still go on. But because, it had already got out there about, what happened on Fifth Street, the carbon monoxide and everything, I personally made the decision because I wanted her to know that it's more than just the event to me. I'm worried about the cafe, like, is the cafe going to be all right, And then once, everything was out there, I no longer even felt comfortable having it because I want to make sure that everything is okay. Because for all the people who spent their money to buy tickets to this event, I wanted to make sure that there was no concerns, no worry. I had to cancel media because I had Fox 29 coming out. I had to cancel, the panelists and everything. And again, it's one of those situations where I'm disappointed, but like y'all told me, it's not going to discourage me. It's not going to stop me from, going because it will happen. It's just not going to happen tomorrow like I planned, And I did reach out to Fox 29. They said they willing to come out and still cover it. A lot of the panelists said they still willing to be on the panel. So when it happens, I know that it's going to be great because now I got even more time to make it a bigger production, And back to what you were saying, Chanel, about them being in the kitchen prepping at 3 a.m., we were doing like a lot of movie sets. There was a movie that was filming in Philly or whatever. So it was like 3 a.m. call time for the cooks. So ladies, I'm not sure if y'all saw former Mayor Thaddeus Kirkland. He went live in regard to Avenue of the States, So just to give a little context for people who are watching, our former mayor, during his second candidacy, our city went into bankruptcy, so he did a video going down the street complaining about the conditions of how Avenue of the States look. And then a lot of the community said he has the audacity to be talking about that. So ladies, did y'all see that video?
I did.
Mm-hmm. You did? All right. So I want to get y'all thoughts on this. So Connie, I want to start with you because even your mom and dad jumped in the group chat and said that he had the audacity. And if you know Connie parents, they're the most nicest people ever, but the fact that they said he had the audacity, he must have had the audacity. So Connie, what was your thoughts?
First off, now I gotta go back and check the comments and make sure ain't nobody gets smart with my mom or my dad.
I'm gonna send them to you.
I thought that was crazy and shady because anybody that goes over town or downtown like kind of knows how them streets have been. We just had all of this snow. We know that messes up the cement and the asphalt and all of that, the plows coming through. Like, and it's not even just downtown, like it's all over the city. Where like it's areas and sidewalks and holes and stuff like that. Like even Widener got some really bad holes. So like I don't think that's nothing really against the city. And then also, like, I think as somebody who has previously been in that position, you kind of know or should know that like projects don't happen overnight. If that is something that Mayor Roots had talked about in his campaign or something that had came up during his term so far or during a previous mayoral term, like obviously with all of the stuff that's going on, different stuff take time to get done. So if that was on his platform where he said that he was going to take care of that, like, I don't know. I just thought that was weird and shady. And like, Chester politics is just, we just different. We just different and shady and ghetto. Like, ghetto.
Mm-hmm. You said it just
And
right.
that was
Ghetto.
like, that was corny.
It was very corny. And before I get to you, Chanel, I want to ask you, Connie, in regard to the video, do you feel like it was a genuine concern, or do you think it was performative?
Maybe a genuine concern for how it could have impacted him. Because I know he had mentioned like his truck.
Okay. That was creative. That was very creative. I like it.
So maybe, I liked it. Maybe he was like, "Oh, I can't be driving over here because my car gonna get messed up because of these big old holes."
In the street.
But the other piece of that, very much dramatic and performative.
Mm-hmm. There we go. I like that. What are your thoughts on that, Chanel, in regard to Mayor Thaddeus Kirkland's video? What was your thoughts on the video itself? And do you think it was performative or genuine?
So here's my opinion of when people in those, I guess, maybe former mayor, current mayor, whoever, in those seats, I feel like every time they go live, it's something drama. You know what I mean? It's always something drama. It's like Real House Husbands and of Chester. Okay, for real. Like, that is okay. It was shady. It was tacky. As somebody who has, like Connie said, if you sat in that position, it's almost like the presidency. You kind of respect the seat, but maybe not the person. And so you know what goes on, and you know what it takes for these things to move through and to happen. And so you get on here filming like everybody else haven't seen it. Like, what was the point? What's the point? What was the reason?
Literally.
Like, what was the reason? And to be completely honest, every time I've seen a live from Thaddeus Kirkland, it has been drama. Every time I seen a live, it's between going back and forth with somebody, it's him punching somebody, it's him slapping somebody. He on the live, like I don't put it on Tubi. I think
the show will be called The Imaginary Players of Chester.
Put it on Tubi. Hey, this is our idea that we just came up with. Okay, no, don't take this idea and not think y'all ain't gonna pay us for it, because it'll go up, you know.
Producer credit. We need that producer credit for sure. The pattern I've noticed, and I put this in my daily journalism video, is that anyone who is associated with Thaddeus Kirkland, they all have a hard time taking accountability about anything, you know. So they were like the point fingers, and y'all know my favorite thing, you point fingers, who's gonna point back at you? So again, if you're ready to point fingers, be ready for them to be pointed back at you, because Thaddeus Kirkland, as I stated, the bankruptcy started under his administration. So the audacity for you to get online live, like, okay, we know the streets are messed up, so it's not to even say that what he's saying wasn't true, but it's like, bro, you didn't do anything to help the situation. All you did was line your people's pockets. You line your people's pockets up, and the city didn't benefit from anything. You know, Mayor Stefan, who's only been in there, this is only his first term, so it takes time to get things right. And as we were saying before we started recording, like in regard to the snow and everything, this has been some tough snow. So yes, people coming to clean the streets and everything, they got the streets just looking a mess right now, you know. But for him to me, like I said, it was the audacity, and the community all saw through that, because at the end of the day, the way that they try to pull up these smoke and mirrors and, don't take accountability but point fingers, people is tired of that. Don't nobody want to keep on going through that. And I'm going to say to the city of Chester, because what they're trying to do, they are rolling out everything. They're trying to, again, have Fred be the mayor. they're trying to have Brian Kirkland go against Carol Kazim, because I just saw that the Delco Democrats, they endorsed Carol Kazim, but the Chester Democrats, they are endorsing Brian Kirkland. And it's like, how do you endorse the person who was beaten by the current state representative? You get what I'm saying? So like the Chester Democrats, they are some dirty, low down people. And it's going to take a lot of people to actually keep on calling them out so that we don't fall for the game that they're trying to put out there. Because again, Nafis is on like the school board and everything, and he's kind of in, Thaddeus' pocket or whatever, So they have these people who are, on these board positions, and they are all connected to Thaddeus, and that's their game right there, is to get everyone on their side in those positions. I had something recently happen to me, in regard to my personal information being put out there, by people in that camp. And when I initially put the video out, I had accused 2 people, and I had to actually go and retract 1 person, because when I had put that out in regard, and for people who don't know what I'm even talking about, my personal information was put out there about me being behind on rent, and then, other things along the line, because they also leaked my address. Now, they leaked my address because they did not want me to run for city council, because technically I'm a Brookhaven resident, so that was their way of letting the community know, well, he's not even a Chester resident, even though I'm only 5 minutes up the street. I don't understand that thing, because they like to call me an outsider because I don't currently reside in Chester. Even though I was born in Chester, I have family that live in Chester. I work in Chester. Like, what more do you need? But that fits Fred's narrative of, oh, this is an outsider. He don't know what's going on.
That, Jermir, if you don't mind, and on top of that, the Brookhaven, a part of Brookhaven's students go to school in Chester. So to say that, yeah, I know you lived in Toby Farms. So part of those students that have a Brookhaven address are, which is crazy because we pay Chester Township taxes and not Chester taxes. So the fact that if you live in Brookhaven, you wouldn't be able to run is just kind of weird, because but you don't have a problem taking our money. You don't have a problem taking our money for our students to go there. So it's kind of weird to me, but like you said, you're just 5 minutes out of the way. So to call you an outsider, like you coming from Chicago or something, is crazy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Exactly, because that would be their favorite line for all 3 of us, because we're not technically Chester residents, but we love the city of Chester. I couldn't even tell you who the hell the mayor of Brookhaven is, because I don't care. I just reside here. I don't know who the hell the Brookhaven mayor is or the Brookhaven city council is. Connie, do you know?
No, I just live here.
Yeah.
I just was trying to be hood adjacent.
Okay.
Brookhaven is hood adjacent. I'm still close enough to my family, but far away enough. I don't got hurt. No
gunshots. Yep.
See, you said it.
Exactly.
I tried not
to say it for the people that want to know. We trying to get away from them gunshots.
Listen, we just a hop, skip, and a jump away.
I know y'all had saw the situation where my information was leaked and everything. Now I want to ask you ladies this question. I want to preface this because, again, I had mentioned that I did accuse Councilwoman Tamika Williams, who called me immediately and clarified her name. And I made sure that when I talked to her, right, I could read between the lines. So in the video of the guy, he had mentioned being very good friends with Tamika Williams. And I had said to her, is this one of your friends? She said, I've known him for 40 years. I'm like, okay, so is this your friend for 40 years? She said, I've known him for 40 years. So then I also said to her, I said, well, if you didn't have nothing to do with it, do you know if Councilman Fair Green had something to do with it? She said, well, I didn't have nothing to do with it. I'm like, so you don't know if Fair Green had anything to do with it? I did not have nothing to do with it. So with me, I read between the lines, and I ask those questions that way in particular because I don't even know if she know, but the way that I asked those questions was for me to get an answer without her knowing that she gave me an answer, you know. So ladies, I want to ask y'all, I'm gonna start with you, Connie. What were your thoughts when you saw my information being put out there? And I want to clarify, I am not $3,000 behind in rent. When you are on a payment plan and you are paying things down, they are not going on that docket to update it. You know, I'm not at risk for being put out. I'm not about to be addicted. Niggas had snow days and niggas had to make up money and niggas had to put money into certain events, you know, and into merch and all that. You know, so I was making investments in myself. But I want to let you know that I'm definitely not about to be put out, you know. So, Connie, when you heard or saw me report on my own information being put out there, what were your thoughts on that? And do you think it's necessary for people to play that dirty?
I'm very sorry that happened to you. I was
Thank you.
I was kind of taken aback that somebody would stoop that low to put your personal information out there. Just because, at least in my interactions with you, like on and off doing this show, you're not flashy. Like, I think you're very humble. You correct yourself. You are able to accept feedback. You're honest. Like, you report on things with facts. Like, you do your research.
Thank you.
I don't think that you was the person that this should have happened to. Like, that's kind of how I feel about it. I thought it was really low to stoop to, when the reality of the times that we're living in, like, we're all falling on hard times in different areas. And that information has nothing to do with your platform. It has nothing to do with the information that you give out to the community. Like, it kind of sort of don't have everything to do with the whole city council piece of it. It just was a low blow. It was a low blow, and I feel like you handled it with grace. And I really commend you for how you handled talking to Tamika, and even coming back on your platform to publicly say, you know, she was not a part of this. Like, I think that was really big of you, and like shows a lot about your character, and shows a lot about what it is you're trying to do. So again, I was sorry that happened to you, but I really admired the way you handled it.
Thank you. I appreciate that so much. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. What were your thoughts on that, Chanel, in regard to, you know, my information being put out there? What did you think about that? And do you think people had to play this dirty in order to prove a point?
I don't know what point they were trying to prove. You know, I'm not sure like what was the point. Because from my understanding, you made a video questioning the purpose of them going to that school, posting the pictures and all that stuff, right? So you made that video, you questioned why they did it, and then was saying like this was kind of improper, whatever. So I'm trying to figure out where in that video did you, I guess, say anything to the effect that would require a response to say, but you're late on rent. Like, it just didn't add up. I'm telling the city council or requesting that they be genuine, that they be honest, that they be truthful. And you're coming back telling me, but you broke. Like, I'm not on the city council. Like, I can be
you walk around in no Armani suit.
Yes, like I can be broke, but they still need to be transparent. Like, with me being broke, I could be homeless and still ask them for accountability. So what was the point of that? Like, where was the correlation between, oh, you know what, you're right, I'm broke, I guess I shouldn't be asking nobody no questions. Like, I don't know. To me, it's just, I feel that these personal attacks, yes, it had to be somebody to send them out, because if it comes from my page, then I'm, I guess, exposing the fact that I may be untrustworthy or improper for the position. So I got to put somebody else who's not in city council, who's technically not in Chester, put them on the case so that they can go live and call him out. So that's what it gives to me, that you call your friend, your cousin, your whoever, hey, and they talking about you, and they behind on rent. Oh yeah, well, I can't go on my page and say it, but you go on your page and say it. That's what that gives. I'm talking about city council and like facts. I'm bringing facts and stuff, and you're coming from my personal life. That's weird. And not only that, them exposing your address, that's putting you in danger. What if somebody was really upset with you and wanted to come attack you? Now you just gave these people my address? Like that's weird.
Exactly. And that was the part right there, because people was asking me to show the part where they said my address. I said, why would I amplify my address even more? Like the clips I sent y'all, I had sent enough of what he said in regard to my finances or whatever, or his accusations of me being behind on rent and everything. The thing that got me is because it's been like little things. I'm gonna let y'all know this because it's funny. I literally run into a lot of people associated with them at the Starbucks drive-thru. I've even seen Connie at the Starbucks drive-thru. So the joke was, he worked at Starbucks. He need to get some money or whatever. Me working at Starbucks or whatever. The case may be. And another thing is that I've seen a lot of the people like in the drive-thru there. So for me, it's like a situation where it's like, okay, I see the police commissioner, always very sweet to me. I've seen Nasir Leach, scared. I've seen, Joy Taylor. I was like, where have you been? And my whole thing is when I'm at my job, I'm going to always be graceful and I'm not going to do anything personal. That's even at the Everybody Eats Cafe, because when we were at the Martin Luther King service and everything, and listen here, I was catering with Everybody Eats Cafe, and Fred know goddamn well he was hungry and he wanted to come over there and eat. But again, he didn't come over there and eat because I was over there. And my thing is, I don't care who over there. If I'm hungry, I'm going to go eat,
I know that's right.
So it goes to show that, again, he don't know how to have dialogue with people he disagree with. Listen, I'm at work. I'm not going to be over here and deny you food. I have to serve you food because that is my job, So for people who may forget, because some people always say, well, Jermir, it seems like you have a bias towards Fred. You don't like him and everything. And I said on one of my videos before, and I think people forgot, that when I was at a town hall, and yes, I was being paid to be there, so I was on the job. And when I had a conversation with Sadiq Kamara, who is the new Delaware County Sheriff, and Dr. Monica Taylor, in the midst of our conversation, he came over there and squeezed in between us in his big purple suit. He squeezed in between us and entered my conversation. So he invaded my personal space, So ever since that situation, it's been up, not on no like fighting stuff or whatever, but it's like, okay, if you don't know how to, directly address me, you're going to do passive things, then okay, we're going to do it like this because I can directly address you, but you don't know how to have that dialogue with me, Right. So for me, I felt very disrespected in that moment. So for people who may feel like that, it's definitely not personal for me, but I'm not going to let up, because at the end of the day, that is your job and that's the position you signed up for. And guess what? If he was not in that position, I wouldn't even be talking about him. So it's not really the person, it's the position that you're in that's causing you to be talked about, So that's why for me personally, for them to go and take a low blow the way that they did, I feel like it was very unnecessary. And that's why I was like, you know what? Let me embrace this a little bit, because I ain't gonna lie. When I did my first video, I was like, don't give them that. Don't give them that. Because I got the information a day prior to me putting out the video that I put out, So by the time the second day rolled around, I was a little bit more calm, and I was able to use I am a fucking bum. I do live in the trailer with my mom. Like, I'm about to sit here and throw, and everything you're going to throw at me, I'm going to say it. Because after I unarm you, what do you got to say now? Let's keep it on policy. Let's keep it on if I'm lying or not. Thank y'all for everything that y'all said, because I know I ain't crazy. No, I ain't crazy. A little bit. Just a little bit. So before we get out of here and everything, ladies, first I want to thank y'all for having this conversation with me in regard to the things that have been going on locally and everything. Thank y'all for bearing through the technical difficulties. I definitely do appreciate that. Before we get out of here, Chanel, how can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at iChanelJ. It's right there. And then on Facebook, it's my first and last name, Chanel Rorie, Rorie. And then I got my YouTube. I don't really have any content on it yet. I'm still trying to come up with what will be my content. But my YouTube is Coco Chanel. And I also think it's like I Chanel J. I think it's both. So I think the channel is called Coco Chanel, but it's actually under my tag, I Chanel J. So you can just type that in there on YouTube.
There we go. Go follow her. Get that content up there. We try to see some Chanel content. You know,
I'm trying to figure it out, like what's gonna be my content, but it's coming. It's coming. I'm working on it, y'all.
Heard that. Listen, I'll let you know. Someone, you know, we won't mind seeing a couple vlogs and everything. You know, like I think you start with vlogs and you kind of figure out which direction you're gonna go with that. You know.
Okay, you should just do it. Okay, I'm gonna just do it.
Yeah, because you and your husband seem like y'all do like a lot of fun things, you know. So even, you know, I just think vlogging your days would be good, at least starting off with, you know. Yeah. Like y'all just did something recently about making history, being like one of the many couples that kissed somewhere and everything. Like, that would have been a decent vlog. How did you come up with that? You know, so I think that'd be interesting as someone who want to see some content. That's what I would say.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
You know, you don't really see like a lot of married couple content of like just the couple. Like you don't see a lot of married couples where it's just them and not like kids. So
okay. All right, y'all right. Okay. I'm taking it all down. I'm taking it all down.
Exactly. There we go. We want to see something by this summer. Not summer, by this spring.
I got you.
There we go. All right, and then yeah, Connie, for you, where can people follow you? How can they keep up with you?
People can keep up with me on my Instagram, which is down below here. It's @_megacon_. And then on Facebook, I am Megacon, first name, last name.
There we go. Okay, I like that. All right, there we go. And then for everyone right here, you can keep up with my daily journalism. I do a lot of it on Facebook. It's called Jermir with the Journalism. You can follow me on Instagram @Jermir Caldwell. I'm monetized over there, so follow me over there. Also, I'm on Instagram @Jermir with the 3 underscores, as you can see right there. You know, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel As the Culture Turns, because we are uploading more content on that. You know. So, ladies, I thank y'all so much for joining me for this conversation tonight. I thank y'all for being a part of this because, again, as I always say, I want to help amplify other voices. And this show is mainly about me hearing your opinions while chiming a little bit, you know. So, again, this has been As the Culture Turns. Ladies, see you next time. Yeah. All right.